This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in Denver, Colorado. I'm here with Adventures of Jade and Sky. I'm also with the author and mother, Julia. Thanks so much for joining us here today. Let's start off a little bit about yourself. I mean, professional life when you're not adventuring. Let's talk about where you were before the twins arrived. Professionally, you've been a VP of Sales and Business Development, podcast host, as well as a public speaker. Tell us a little bit about life before Jade and Sky.
For the twins. I've done medical sales for almost all my adult career. I was lucky to live in New York and DC and really learn like a broad spectrum of how people work and how people sell and different means for that. So I work for a medical tech startup now, and so I work a lot with hospitals, and that's kind of where my professional life still goes, and the podcast kind of still go focused on that. And this book really kind of became more of a passion project outside of time there.
The definition of twins are two offspring produced by the same pregnancy. When you got the news you're going to have twins, were you surprised, or is this something that runs in your family?
You know, we were surprised. We were very blessed that they're identical twins, actually. So it was definitely a shock there. No, on my genetic side, there's twins don't run there. So it was definitely a surprise.
That is interesting. 1.6 million twins born each year worldwide. We're talking about 1 in every 42 children. I mean, when I read those stats, that's more than I realized. Yet, because it's pretty uncommon, do twins still turn heads when you're out in public?
You know, it's really cute because it does. And it's really funny to see how people engage and are asking them questions and say hi. And I think it does tend to be a little bit more common that people are engaging than just a mama with babies. And so definitely people are like, oh, are they twins? Are they identical? They're both girls. And that's really fun to have kind of that energy around us when we're doing things.
I mean, anyone would agree out there that having one child is a handful. But to have two, I mean, it's safe to say it's challenging. Tell me a little bit where you were in life when the twins arrived.
You know, yeah, I always say I think God gave me 2 arms, right? So I was able to kind of take care of both of them and do that. I'm very lucky to be a single mom with a ton of family support with my parents and my brothers, and so we get a lot of people that are kind of coming in and out and helping and supporting, kind of seeing that. So the girls definitely recently have gotten a lot easier, starting to play more together, engage more together. But yeah, it was a little bit of a blur. The first little bit of their life. So
that's exciting. I mean, about 2 months into it, once the routines kind of got in place, you started learning each one of them individually, you realized that you could kind of enjoy the moment. Tell me what that was like.
You know, it's especially with twins as you just said, you have to learn their personalities, and even at 2 months they're starting to show that. And so finally you're starting to say, I know what you need, and I know what you need when you're upset, or I know what you need, or you need to calm down. And we just really one day got into a really, really good groove. And I think it was the first day I really was like, man, like I really love this day, and I really appreciated being a mom. And that's where I turned kind of to writing, is I was like, I need to just write this down and remember it in a different way than taking pictures or, you know, calling my mom. You know, sure. I needed to memorialize it in a different way. And that's really where that first book was inspired by. So
really the simplicity of a simple day is what kind of led you and inspired you to capture those moments. Was it something that came pretty easy for you?
You know, my background, I was a creative writing major in college. I at one point wanted to go to law school before doing medical sales, okay. But writing and, you know, sales and speaking has always come very natural for me. Writing is definitely something that is kind of my own passion private project that I kind of always have done and shared and done a little bit here and there, but not to the full capacity as, okay, let's write a book. The girls really inspired and fueled that to not just write it, but also to start having my writing be public.
That is interesting. The Adventures of Jade and Sky. Share what their full name is, and what is the age now of the twins?
So the girls will be 3 in July, so they're 2.5. So it's Jaden and Skylar Sukup are their names. And then the reason that we kind of cut it is Jade, like the color green, has green bows in all of the books, and then Skylar, it's sky blue. And so a lot of times, even when we're out with friends or anything like that, they are identical twins. I put a blue bow or a green bow or anything that's kind of makes them differentiate them just a little bit, so my friends can be like, "Hi, Skylar," versus like, "Which one are you?" So it definitely kind of became their staple a little bit of, okay, the blue bow and the green bow, and that Adventures of Jade and Sky kind of became a series as one written every year for them.
Interesting. So we're talking about 3 years old. We have 3 books.
Yeah.
Tell me how that annual tradition got started.
Well, the first year, being a single mom with them was hard. And we had a lot of transition during that time. And so a lot of sleepless nights. And I just kind of was like, I want to do something positive with this time. I don't want to wish it away or like, you know, do anything along those lines. So that was where I was like, I'm going to make a really special first Christmas book. And it was so fun. And the first book, that Happy Baby Day, isn't just great as like, here's what a day with babies looks like, but it really also is a great book for a sibling to say, hey, this is what it's going to look like when you have a baby. So that second year, I really started seeing them love each other, really engage with each other, and that's inspired the second book. And same with the third, that kind of goes as they go. So I don't know how long we'll do it, but it's been a really special thing that every Christmas you're getting this special present from mom, you know?
I'm excited to see how long you can go with that. That is really cool. Let's start off with the first book, Happy Baby Day. This is really where the adventure begins. Tell me what the reader is going to learn in the book.
So it is just like from waking up to going to bed. What does the day of a life of a baby look like? Yes, there's 2 of them in there, and so a lot of it has the images of both, but you know, we wake up and then we have snack and then we like do like movement and then we go on a walk and then we have nap time, and so then bath time. I mean, it really does show like kind of here's what the day of a life of a baby looks like, and it has a very cute cadence and rhyme to it. The illustrator did such a great job, but I think it's also not just a great book for twins, but a really great book if you have a new baby coming in and you're trying to explain to an older sibling what it's going to look like. I think it's really powerful there, and actually a few people that read it are the ones who really said, hey, this was really helpful for me to show my oldest child this is how this is going to look. So
that is excellent. Basically, Hey Sister Hey. Second book, when they realize they have a built-in buddy all the time.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So it's really cool with twins, and I know a youngest sibling to an older sibling probably has a similar thing, but as far as when they start really being like, there's like, you're cool, you're here all the time, like you're my buddy, and they're learning their hands and they're learning their feet and they're learning their bodies, and so it really was like, wait a minute, I have someone that's here that can play with me, and they start really seeing each other engaging. That was like one of the best times. And so I think the cool thing about that book is it does talk about like movement, bodies, fingers, counting, like a lot of those pieces that you start working with your babies on. That was what I was trying to teach them also at the time. But just seeing each other and seeing kind of that they'll always have each other, you know, and their relationship that starts to build, and their personalities that start to build. So
kind of exciting at that young age to be almost looking in a mirror all the time.
Yeah.
And experience that. T is for taking turns. I mean, for twins, that has to be lesson 101,
yeah.
Taking turns. Tell me.
Well, it's interesting because the T is for taking turns. It's an ABC book, so there's almost a manner, if you will, for every letter of the alphabet. But yeah, I think that when you have twins, there's certain things you got to teach just a little bit earlier, and one of them is, of course, taking turns, being patient, waiting, especially being a single mom with these babies is. They have to learn, like, I can't take care of you both at the same time. I can't carry you now at the same time. So they've really gotten good at like, okay, well, we'll do this after that, or we'll do this, you know, there. We also have so many friends that come in and out. So learning what it means to say thank you, say please, showing appreciation, showing love, you know, all of those little pieces that we're starting to give words to as they're starting to speak. about how we get along in the world, a little 3-year-old world.
It's exciting, and that's pretty cool. I would think they would come out of it a lot more balanced than maybe a child who's all by themselves and kind of rules the world.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, these are books, obviously, for any mother out there who has twins. What about twins of 2 boys, or even 1 boy and 1 girl? Tell me how you navigate through that.
Yeah, you know, it's just, it doesn't really have, even though the girls' pictures are there, it doesn't really have any cadence in that respect, especially Tia's for Taking Turns. It was really much more focused on toddler. I think even the twin only says a twin's guide to the ABCs, but it's really that book, since people started getting really interested in it, I started opening it up on writing it more towards a general toddler or a general ABC. So not even necessarily twins. But it's funny because how many twin friends the girls have. We've got boyfriends, twins, we got some girls, twins that live across the street. And those are always fun as a gift to give or have them read those too. But really the books, especially the 3rd book, is any toddler is a great book to have. I mean, it's not just focused on twins, although they're the inspiration for it and they're the images of it. It's for any kid.
I mean, I think for any mother out there who has twins, or even some of those that have kids that are really close in age, you kind of experienced that as well. What has been some of the feedback from some of the moms out there?
You know, I think probably the coolest thing has been a lot of the moms that see, like, I was a single mom doing this, and that it was kind of, you know, really purpose-driven and inspiration-driven by the girls. And so I've actually had a lot of mamas that are like, what a way to take something that was more challenging and really spin it into something positive. So that's feedback melts my heart when people, you know, message me on Instagram or things like that, that they're just like, that's just really cool that you took something that was more difficult and really made it positive. As far as the books go, especially the last one, this Tia's for Taking Turns, I think a lot of people have said, like, giving the words to these pieces of this is what this is and this is what's this for, and kind of having that ABC cadence to it is been positive, and that they kind of were like, this is a great way for me to start talking about these things, you know, with my 3-year-old, as we're teaching them what the word gratitude means, or what the word I'm sorry means, or the word, you know, it's very simple rhythmic language throughout the book.
I mean, as we said before, raising twins is definitely challenging, but there is joy in adventure that awaits you, obviously. It can be really relived in every one of your pages as you're going to look back. Does this continue to be rewarding for you, and yet at the same time, kind of an honor to share it? You know,
it's the first book I wrote just for the girls. And so then when I was like having the inspiration for the second one and started saying, okay, well, maybe I could, you know, self-publish it, make a website, and let other people do it. It is awesome to kind of have some insight into our world, and be able to say, like, this is the experience that we had, and having other people have insight to that. I think whenever you're sharing your home or your writing or your art, there's a piece of you that is incredibly vulnerable. It's very scary in a lot of ways. And to think that I never shared my writing until the girls, I mean, they're truly that inspiration of, you know, like, let's show what we're living and the gratitude we have and the joy we have in our day-to-day life. And doing it with this book is really cool, so that we're really focused on, you know, the positive energy that's kind of come through this. And it's amazing to share it with other moms or twin moms and see, you know, it's fun, and there's a light at the end of some of it.
Very exciting. Quite an adventure for sure. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen. What you're going to see is her website. On the website, obviously, you can purchase the books right there, but there's a whole lot more. I mean, you've got download activities for the kids. You have bows that you can share there as well. Definitely check out their Facebook, Instagram. You're going to be able to see some of this adventure in between the books in full color and experience what it's like to go through this as well. Once again, that is Adventures of Jade and Sky, sharing a glimpse of their beautiful, loving chaos. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.